ChatGPT writes better content than humans.
You're trying to get fired.
Psych!
We brought together a combined experience of over 100 years in digital marketing in one room to expose some of the biggest myths in the industry.
Oh, this is a spicy one.
Is SEO dead?
Hell no!
Is Google a search engine for Reddit?
Google has massively boosted the visibility of Reddit in a kind of eye-watering way.
Let's uncover some of these myths. Social media is more important than having a website for small businesses.
Depends, but also.
It's not on your own domain. It's not your traffic. Borrowing traffic from social media like X, LinkedIn, whatever is great to get started.
In my own consultant business, I get more probably conversions from my social traffic than organic traffic. But generally 98% of the time that organic traffic is intent based and the social traffic is just, hey, look at this article I wrote. Ooh, clickbait, you know.
ChatGPT writes better content than humans.
Psych!
You're trying to get fired.
The caveat being, it writes better content than most humans. Definitely a very skilled writer, skilled content marketer, I think could do a much better job, but the reality is most people are not very skilled when it comes to content marketing. Most of the content on the internet kind of sucks, actually.
The future of content marketing is really going to be skilled experts who are able to operate ChatGPT at a high level.
I mean, maybe better than some people. Probably better than I do.
I've tried ChatGPT 8 ways from Sunday for writing content, and I can't stand it. It's just, And I think this is a very serious point, that I think Google is looking for more human-based content, showing actual human experience. It's just really hard to pull that out of ChatGPT. GPT?
Yeah.
What am I saying?
GTP.
What is it?
You're GPT.
I'm dyslexic, so I don't think I'm hearing
You're
it.
flopping the P and the T.
Okay, I believe you. But I'm still not hearing it.
I think subject matter experts blow AI out of the park.
Yeah.
100%. But if we're just talking about AI writing better content than humans, like, I think it does.
Still, we're getting hallucinations. Still, we're kind of getting aggregated things that don't quite make sense and making up things and not being able to like correctly cite or source things, even if we've been quite specific with the prompt and testing different variations of this. I'm saying this in October 2024. Who knows what it's going to be when you watch this online on YouTube?
Nobody visits the second page of Google.
We agree.
We agree.
No, I think search results are sometimes, you're not finding what you want on the first page, and you're definitely scrolling to the second page. I think maybe even more today than in the past. I don't know.
It's lower numbers, but it's not no one.
Yeah, it's definitely not no one. Traffic on that second page is minuscule compared to what you're going to get on the first page, but people are still scrolling down there, and Google knows this. They have the logs.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think nobody. It really depends on the query, and I think if it's a more research-based query, you're gonna see a longer tail of clicks happen as people look for their information.
Open up your search console, just filter it by query and go to everything +10. There is a lot more traffic than you would think about when just trying to think, in a linear idea of like, do I click through to the next page? Lots of folks do. And at volume. You can be able to verify this today because it's busted.
Email marketing is outdated.
It's a channel. It's useful. I mean, in the right market, still plain old snail mail even.
I get way too many emails, and a lot of them are bad, but some of them are good, and people are getting through, and it's still an effective strategy for people who can do it right.
SEO is dead.
Whip you out of a job.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell no!
Not yet.
No.
SEO is not limited to just Google search, right? Basically, like YouTube is a search engine, eBay is a search engine, Amazon is a search engine. Basically, if there's any information that needs to be sorted, then SEO will never die.
I think as well, like SEO has always, it's evolved, it's changed over time. It looks very different to how it looked 5 or 10 years ago, but it still exists. It's still a useful channel for companies. Companies are still going to invest in it.
As long as there's search engines, there's going to be some form of SEO. Even if it turns into AI optimization or something like that, we got a long life of SEO ahead of us. It's just not the same as it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's some of the metrics might change. Maybe you go more branding, optimizing for LLMs, but like some kind of optimization is still going to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blog content is dying.
It is spicy because your job depends on that.
I run the Hrefs blog, so this is me talking myself out of a job now.
I wish this wasn't true. People aren't writing on their blog as much. It's zero. People are writing on social media. They're writing these huge posts. We freaking love blog posts. We love reading them. We love when someone publishes something so we can share it on social media.
I mean, it's the formats are changing. It's not that content isn't being created, but especially like Gen Z, younger folks, or my wife, video is their go-to. Social media, it's blogs. Not everyone likes to read.
The web has become so commercial that if we're not selling a product on a page, a lot of people just don't want to do it.
Yeah, I do think the tide is changing, right? People do not care about blogs in the way they used to. They don't care about company brands in the way they used to. There's a big fragmentation of attention happening. People care more about individual creators, different types of content on social networks, that kind of thing.
From like a conversion standpoint, is that we have so many resources available to us now, and something like video is much easier to consume and to understand. Like you can do it very passively, whereas like if you're reading, for most people, like you really got to think about what you're reading and consuming.
So there's still room for blog content, but maybe not the type that most companies make today.
Google ads are bad for users in Google search.
I don't think they're necessarily bad. I sometimes think there are way too many of them, but the product ads are extremely useful. In general, for like local service, again, pretty useful.
Sometimes, yeah, especially when I'm looking for a specific company and I see 3 or 4 different competitor ads above that and I can't get to the result that I want because Google allows you to just buy those spaces no matter how irrelevant you are. What confuses me, sometimes the product ads can find exactly what I want, but then in Google search, they can't find what I want. And they're like, what are you doing? I know you can find it. Why don't you deliver that to me, in the organic results?
Google is a search engine for Reddit.
Ooh.
Google's got a big stake in this, like they wanted to funnel traffic through this. And look, like for the most part, it would really feel like, this is the way that it is, like it's like a search engine for Reddit. But is that the larger picture? Not really.
I do think that the future of search will be very different. And the $60 million deal that Google and Reddit have is a very interesting partnership where I think Google is looking at that user data and using it to train their models to understand how topics are evolving.
Yeah, I mean, Reddit just dominates, the top of SERPs. I would like this not to be true, but that's what I'm seeing.
I'm with you, but I think that's like user driven. Like myself, when I'm doing research, what am I gonna buy? I don't trust any of those affiliate marketers at the top of the results, so I will go at Reddit or even Discord. But I think heavily favoring Reddit right now, yes, but specifically for Reddit, no, but like they have all the queries. They see the refinement where people are literally adding like Reddit, site reddit.com, etc. to the results. And it is what users want from them right now for many markets, not for everything though.
I mean, I hope this is a temporary state of affairs, but obviously Google has massively boosted the visibility of Reddit in a kind of eye-watering way. I was looking at some of our rankings on Hrefs thinking, hey, why is that article declined? Reddit posts at the top of every SERP. So at the moment, it does feel like they're unfairly promoting user-generated content from Reddit.
Right now, like Google is a search engine for Reddit, right? I mean, you see that everywhere, all over the place. But I think historically, up until this point, it hasn't been, and hopefully within the next 12 to 24 months, it's not anymore. But we know the relationship that they have, and we'll just kind of see where it goes, I guess.
Google has to deal with a crazy influx of AI-generated content, and perhaps one short-term way to deal with that is to elevate user-generated content. At least that's, passing the onus of content moderation onto other companies that aren't Google. So,
yeah, they might just be leveraging Reddit for now until they create their own user-generated content experience.
Ahrefs is too expensive.
You get that free account if you connect Google Search Console, which is great. The starter plan is super affordable for most people, but I understand certain parts of the world that even that starter level is too much money. I come from a long SEO software background. There's always going to be people who can't afford, and you want to be able to reach as many people as you can, but I think it's good value for the money. And I'm not getting paid to say that. You can pay me later.
As an agency, I think it is the best tool on the market for the price. In full transparency, I'm about to write a check for 50 grand for Ahrefs Enterprise this year, and I'm happy to pay that.
And he doesn't even work at Ahrefs. That's amazing, you know? No bias there. I think if you run a business, it's an excellent tool to pay for.
Google intentionally lies to webmasters.
Oh, this is a spicy one.
Google did say things that, that were not exactly as they were, but if I was Google, I would not say like, hey, you have to do exactly this and this and this, and then you will be able to manipulate our rankings. Like, I would say, get lost, get lost, leave me alone. What do you mean?
Saying that they weren't tracking clicks, but they, in the, the Chrome histograms, like they absolutely are tracking clicks and using a lot of information from that. I think that they would have answered them with the information that they had that was best to them at the time. And they are thinking about what is going to be helpful to a large pool of users.
Intentionally lies. I mean, yeah, when the antitrust trial came out, they said they had a policy. I don't think the policy was to lie, but it certainly led to misleading about use of click data. So I don't think they would classify it as lying, but I think that kind of was unintentionally the end result. And I think a lot of people felt hurt and burned by that. But I think they were put in just an unfortunate position where they had to mislead us about things that they probably wouldn't want to otherwise.
So I don't necessarily think they try to lie, but I definitely agree that there's not always the absolute truth that maybe comes out.
Yeah, so I think, their intention is not so much to lie to people. At the same time, they don't want to reveal, the signals that, are actually they're using in their algorithm, right? And we know that their algorithm is so advanced now. There is, times where people from Google will come on record and say, links don't matter. They're not important, right? And the whole SEO world just kind of goes crazy when they hear that kind of stuff, right? Because we know that is not necessarily, true, right? So, but hey, I think it's just propaganda, and it's just something that we have to live with.
Yeah, propaganda is a great word, I think. Yeah.
YouTube will drive more business value in 5 years.
Ooh.
I like disagreement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sort of with you. It could go either way. Will YouTube even be a thing? There's some antitrust stuff going. But in general, I think video will drive a lot more value. Up and coming generations, it's their preferred format.
I believe that, and I want to believe that's true with YouTube. We saw a lot of content creators after the helpful content update and things like that move to YouTube. I'm just worried about the enshittification of future YouTube. Just Google being, a rent seeker on that and just extracting value and then ruining YouTube as well.